Welcome, everyone. It's so great to see you. And I am Susan Allan, and this is a really, really, really special show for us. And I am so thrilled because we have a very unique guest, a guest who is the quintessential example of why the Lifewave patches are the most important thing many of us will ever find in our lives. That any other discovery we've ever made in our lives, great as it may have been, Lifewave patches trump it. It is bigger, it is better, it is more extraordinary. And let me tell you about this very special guest. Ivory Sully is a football legend. He was with the Rams. He was with them for a long time, including Super Bowl 14. He's got the ring. There he is. And he is a Lifewave aficionado. He loves the Lifewave patches. And here's why they've been so important to him. And he'll tell you all about it today. But the important thing is any of us who is not a professional athlete, most of us have never been or never will be professional athletes, or even amateur athletes, or even weekend warriors. Ivory was considered to be the hardest hitting defensive back ever at the time that he played. He was called Mr. Hit. Now, can you imagine the kind of punishment that this man took from the top of his head, which is his brain, all the way throughout his body? So today we're going to be talking about the miraculous results he's seen in brain repair. And just imagine the quantity of concussions that football players used to have, because when he was playing, they didn't have the kind of protective gear and protective regulations they have now. So welcome, Ivory.
Wow, I like the guy that you just introduced. God bless you. Thank you so much for having me, Susan. I'm really grateful.
We are so thrilled. We are so thrilled. I'm going to ask you the very first question, Ivory. So to me, the biggest thing is the brain. The biggest thing that Lifewave did for me is that on day 2, after I started using the X39, I was able to solve a trademark problem that I had had for months. And you know all about licensing. You know all about that because that was your second career. And I kept walking over the pile of trademark re-ups that were on my floor because it was so damn complicated. I just said, I can't deal with it now. I put on the first X39 patch on July 2nd. And July 3rd, I said, okay, I am solving this problem. I sat down at the laptop and I solved it. So now tell us some of your remarkable experiences with the brain and Lifewave.
Oh my gosh. Do we have enough time here? Okay, well, I can tell you a lot of stuff about my brain, and just from the sport that I played and how I played it. You know, at the end of the day, the game is played differently today than it was back then. I'm a high school football coach now. We actually teach our kids how to keep your head out of the game, how to use your shoulders, how to utilize and take your head out of the game. We have actual sessions and a portion of each practice to show the kid how to tackle. I had none of that. You know what I had? I had this body to bring down another body, and however you did it is the way you did it. The wild, wild west is what the NFL was. And, you know, consequently, you know, I did tend to stick my head where it wasn't supposed to be. I mean, I literally, you know, probably had some type of traumatic brain injury, which means my brain hit up against my skull at least 10 times a year, at least. The only ones that they actually remembered or kept were the ones that had to come and get me off the field. They had to come and get me off the field 2 times. And then I played with the TBI even after that. Now that's how you get residual effects of what's going on with your brain when you keep playing after you've been concussed. So the time was a different time, and the place is a different place. And now basically I'm living with the repercussions of what actually happened to me then. And, we didn't recognize or realize it now. The NFL finally caught on and actually has started to pay the players that played in that era or played in previous era. And they're paying them to get treatment and to get a salvation from, their own injuries. And I'm grateful for that. But here's the one thing that I am grateful for more than any daggone thing. And I'm telling you. And the reason why was because biotech right now, it's huge, right? The biology and the things that are helping our bodies and the actual more natural things to have that you can correct what's going wrong with your body or what's going on with your body. Stem cell is huge in our situation as previous football players. So when I heard the word, it's a stem cell reactivator, I said, oh, really? Okay, show me. So to show me, they're talking, I've already had people, come to me to want to give me stem cell shots where I was ailing. Okay, so in my knee, I would get a stem cell shot for $10,000. And, the thing about it is, it would be okay for about 2 months, and then you have to think 6 months down the road to get another one. Well, that one's not good. That theory is just not going to last and hold up very long. So when I heard of these patches, and they were described to me like, well, how if you have, if you're a diabetic and you put a patch on and it controls your what's going on with your diabetes, then that's good. I could relate to that because my family had a history of diabetes. So I recognized and understood the patch technology, okay? And then when I heard of the reactivation of my own stem cells, not an injection of somebody else's stem cells into my joints and into my body, that really made it holistic for me. That was a selling point. I said, I got to have some of that. Let's try that. So I met Marci at a convention for another situation, and I was so lucky to meet her and she put me in the game with regard to the X39 stem cell patches, and she sent me 10 patches. Well, okay, let me explain my story on 10 patches and that week and a half. I started taking the patch. I put the patch on. Now, I'm going to tell you that some of this stuff is a little bit scary, but, just hold with me, all right? I want to be positive because it's ultimately positive at the end of the day. But I have to tell you the whole story so you understand really what was going on. So I put the patch on the first day, and on the second day, I started having these episodes of dizziness, episodes of not really knowing where I was, being a little bit just off of what I usually do and how I usually do it. I really felt like my brain was tired and I didn't feel like thinking, just like what you just talked about in settling your trademark thing. All of a sudden, you just don't want to have to go through the freaking rigmarole of using your brain to figure out something. I didn't want to figure out anything. I just wanted to lay down and rest. I had tired brain. So I had this episode where on the fourth day, after continuing to feel dizzy and such, but continuing on with my life, I wanted to get up on my ceiling and paint around a fan that I had just put in. I got up on the ladder and I looked up and I reached and I put the brush back down into the can and I fell off the ladder. My equilibrium was completely in shambles. I had no idea what the heck was going on with me. I mean, oh my God. So now I was taking the patches. I'm saying, wow, could this really be the patches? Well, there's two things you have to think about there. Okay, eventually, it's going to get better, or maybe it won't get better. And this just really pointing out that I have real traumatic brain injury problems. Well, eighth day, because it didn't stop through the seventh day, eighth day, I woke up and I was crystal clear. I mean, there was nothing wrong with me. I felt like going out and running a marathon that day or going and get on my bike and riding. It was unbelievable how it just flipped. Now, this is just me now, okay? And I know that my situation is a little bit different than most people because of what my history has been, but it was so effective, and the differential was just amazing. It was like, it was next level. And so I had been feeling clear-minded, and I'm thinking, and when I, talk to people, I don't have to talk slowly. I can go ahead and speak. I can, I have a mellifluous vocabulary. I do have that, but I was having a really hard time pulling the words up. But finally, my vocabulary came back, and oh my God, that's how you tell me if I'm on my game. If I'm going to stupid words, okay, but if I'm using real words, that's when I'm there. And it all came back, and I said, okay, Marci, let's go. This thing really works. It really works, and I am just so grateful that I have the X39 patches at my use and disposal to just make my quality of life better. It's just amazing.
Beautiful, beautiful. Thank you so much, so much. And now we have Marci with us. So just really fast, I want to introduce those of you who don't yet know Marci Preble. Here she is. And again, she has 12,000 people in her downline. Ivory's one of them. I'm one of them. And many of you who are on the Zoom right now, you know Marci very, very well. And welcome, Marci. We love you.
Well, thank you. It's so nice to be here, Susan Allan. And Ivory Sully, what a story you have.
And now we're going to ask the second part of your body. So we're all getting to know you really well, Ivory, because now we're moving down to your shoulder from your brain. So for me, because I swim 66 laps a day, pretty much, and I had never been an athlete. I was your typical cheerleader type, but never an athlete. And I injured my shoulder, and 3 chiropractors could not eliminate my pain. I was miserable. I have 0 tolerance for pain. And I had already been using the X39s. I knew it would heal my shoulder eventually. That wasn't good enough. So I researched on the Telegram app. There is a place that has lots and lots of testimonials. And I found the kissing technique of putting 2 Eon patches next to each other with the edges touching, not overlapping. And in 10 minutes, I was pain-free. Now, this is after days and days of chiropractors trying and failing to fix me. Within 10 minutes, with 2 Eon patches, and that's AEON, I was pain-free. The pain never came back. And because it was a new injury, in a very short period of time, it was over as if it had never happened. So now tell us about your shoulder injury, Ivory, and also what results you've seen.
Well, it's my shoulder, it's my knee, it's, I'm a football player, right? So it's going to go. The thing that's great about the X39 patches is they're pluripotent. So they have many applications, and they go where they're needed first. And clearly mine were needed first in my brain, which really it threw me off a little bit, because the other stuff, my shoulder and my knee, they didn't feel any better necessarily. But what was going on with my head was just amazing. It was ridiculously, it was just so therapeutic for what was going on with my life. And so I found out that I needed that one first. But as we went on and I got into my first sleeve, after about 15 or 20 days, I started seeing no swelling on my knee anymore. Now, I'm a 63-year-old man. I mean, I played in the NFL, so there's miles on these legs. And when my knee doesn't get bothered, and I can go out and run, and I can go out and bike, and I can go out and do the things that I like to do, then I am happy. When I'm getting under a bench and I've got my shoulder that I have to worry about, and then I'm loading plates on there, I'm wondering, do I have it today, or do I not have it today? I got to tell you, that is the one thing about X39 patches and the supporting patches to go along with it, is that the anti-inflammatory patch for the Aon is the way you use the Aon for your shoulder. It's the same way that I would use Aon for my shoulder and for my knee. it's just, it's game changing. When you're an athlete, you don't want to not do. You want to do. You want to do what you do best. We're all going to get old and we're all going to, but I'm not done yet. I've still got it. And so I want to continue on that path. And so putting that on, it's a little bit more of a gradual thing. I was on 100% because of what it did for my brain. But then I would check every week, what's going on, what's the status. And then I started noticing, dude, my knee's not blowing up anymore. I mean, it's not getting water on it. What's going on here, and I'm sleeping good. The sleep thing is the Nirvana. Let me tell you something. The supporting patch, Nirvana, to everything is so important to me because I need my sleep. We all need our sleep, especially if you're, dealing with pain and you're dealing, because when you go to sleep with pain more times than not when you're an athlete. And I tell you, sleeping through the night was also just an incredible nuance to what I had been experiencing over the last 10 years of my life. So it's game changing. Listen to me. It's game changing. It's not just like out there. It's game changing and I love it. So there, how's that?
It's really so thrilling for me to hear you say this because it changed my life. It changed all of my friends' lives, knowing about Lifewave. It changes my life every day. Like you, and believe me, there's not that many similarities between me and a professional football player that I'm aware of, but it's thrilling for me to know that, yes, the Lifewave patches started with my brain too. That was the thing I noticed first of all. That was the most important thing. If you've got a brain, then you've got a life. If you don't, you don't. Then the next thing I noticed is every time I would swim those 66 laps pretending to be an athlete, and I'd tweak my lower back or I'd knock my foot into the side of the pool or something with my knee, I would just run upstairs and right after the shower, I'd put Eon patches wherever it was and back to life, back to swimming, back to working all day, happy. So tell us now, Ivory, if you would, about a few of your friends who are also either professional athletes or former athletes. What have they noticed and told you?
Well, that we are a fraternity. And so that's one of the things that really is one of the most important things for me is the sharing of this technology, the sharing of this tool, the sharing of this healer that's going to improve the quality of your life. And I've got some serious situations going on with a few of my friends because the pain situation and not being able to go through life, being able to think clearly and having early onset dementia and things like this. This is not easy to deal with, and to watch your friends and the brothers that were the toughest. These are some of the toughest men in the world. I'm no fear. It's just amazing. And so my mission now is to help my brothers. Okay. I got to tell you a story. Sorry. One of my brothers just committed suicide, just recently with CTE. And we don't know the causes of CTE. But I'm certain that if there was some stem cell activation with regard to allowing his brain to function in the correct way, I can't see that my man Howard Carson would think to put a gun to his head. We're talking real thing, real life now. And so this is not just for me. This is for my brothers.
Exactly. We're healing the world, all of us. One
Yes.
friend, one family member, one fraternity member, as you
Yes.
said. Exactly.
Yes.
Exactly. Yeah. And Marci,
So-
if you would tell us just a little bit right now about the X39, the Eon, and the Icewave, which are the three biggest ones for pain elimination. And then, of course, I also use the carnosine for speed in improving brain function.
Yeah, thank you. I'd be happy to tell you about the patches. And Ivory, I feel blessed that I met you a year and a half ago. I was supposed to be sitting somewhere else, but there was a woman very sick, and I'm like, oh, I don't want to sit there. And I looked in this big room full of all these people, and there was only one seat left, and it happened to be next to this very big man. And I went and I sat there, and I said, hi, my name's Marci. What's your name? And that was the beginning of a great friendship. And I had actually just found the stem cell activation patches maybe a few weeks before I met Ivory. Like I had just started wearing them. And I like to say that sometimes the patch just finds us. Like Ivory needed that and the patch found us. I will also say to you, Ivory, that yes, Ivory Sully, you still got it. So with that, let me tell you about the X39. This is our stem cell activation patch. It's non-transdermal, non-invasive, no drugs, no chemicals. What it is, it's made out of organic crystal. And when you put that patch on the heat of your skin, it actually reflects back a light wave. And that light wave in your body, then that light wave then elevates a peptide in your body called GHK copper peptide. That peptide has the unique ability to act like a telephone, and it calls up your stem cells and it says, hey, make more stem cells, make them march again. And could you make them young again? And the stem cells say, gosh, it's been a really long time since we've talked to you. Yeah, we'll do that. And the light technology, we're a form of photobiomodulation, which is just a big word for light. And we act kind of like the sun. When you go out into the sun, it reflects back the ultraviolet light and you elevate vitamin D. So we're basically using light to activate your stem cells, make more stem cells, and reset them to a younger state. Why that's important is because when you're young, you have tons of cells that turn into your heart, your liver, your connective tissue, your knees, your brain. And then you also are born with these blank pluripotent stem cells, and they have the unique ability to turn into whatever cell your body needs for repair. When Ivory was 20 years old, his stem cells were still working. He was getting hit like being in a car accident every single day. Think about that. Every single day he was in a car accident playing football. But his pluripotent stem cells were like, oh, your knee got kind of whacked out. Let's go fix it. Oh, your brain got a concussion today. Let's go fix it. Well, at age 30, we lose 50% of our stem cell activity. And by age 60, we've lost almost all of it. And you heard Ivory's, I think, 62, 63. So now he's in his 60s. And guess what? The stem cells were not repairing anymore. And all those old injuries started coming back. So now he's activating his stem cells. He's repairing like he's 20 again. In fact, David Schmidt, the owner, inventor, and CEO, says when you put young stem cells on old tissue, you turn the tissue young again. We're not anti-aging, we're age reversing. And that's exactly what was happening to Ivory Sully. He was wearing that patch right below the back of his neck, 12 hours on to activate and 12 hours off to repair. Because it is light, you do need to turn it on and off, on and off. And the other thing I think is interesting is his brain started doing weird things until day 8. It's called retracing. We actually have a research study at startx39.com. Go look at the research and you can actually read the study on the brain and retracing. And what retracing is all about is, as your brain is retracing, it starts to do weird things for about 6 weeks. And then it starts getting better and better and more normal and more normal. So when he said he almost fell off the ladder, I'm in my mind going, he was having retracing. So I think that's interesting. The Eon patch, it's the same technology. It just reflects a different length of light wave, and it reduces inflammation in your body. And then the great thing is when you wear Eon and X39 stem cell activation together, because Eon eats inflammation, and inflammation is an eater of stem cell. You ready for this? You wear them together, you turbocharge your stem cell activation, which is really cool. Last but not least, we have Ice Wave. Ice Wave is pure, get rid of the pain, and it also stabilizes the nervous system. You put the brown patch, this is a 2-patch system. You put the brown patch on the pain spot, and you put the white patch about 2 inches away. Pain gone, why X39 repairs the stem cell, and why Eon gets rid of the inflammation. I like to say, love the spot. So if you got a busted knee, throw all 4 on your knee. If you got brain issues, you can throw them all on your forehead or all right below the back of your neck. Here's the thing. Any spot will do. Love your spot. You can even wear more than one at a time. The only rule of these patches are 12 hours on and 12 hours off. And carnosine, because Susan, you asked that at the end because of traumatic brain injury. Carnosine is unique in that it helps build muscles. It actually supports every organ of your body, including your heart. And it really helps the brain with the plaques and the proteins. So super good for things like, traumatic brain injury, dementia, Alzheimer's, all that brain stuff. So those are the 4 patches that really go well with what Ivory's been talking about today, Susan. Thanks so much.
Such a blessing to have you, both of you, as guests. What a joy. You've got the, out there on the field, out there, the soldier, and that's you, Ivory. And then, Marci, who many of you know went through all sorts of health issues, and you can hear about it, learn about it in our earlier Zoom events that are on youtube.com/Susan Allan 2001. We have about 14 shows, and this one will be on in about a week. And my name is Allan, so spell that correctly. And you'll be able to watch this show in a week and all of the ones I did with Marci previously. Now, consistency. So when Ivory, you and I were talking, you were saying that one of the tricky things for you is to remind all your friends, the band of brothers that you really are, and remind them that they have to use this every day. So once a day, they're putting on the X39. With it, they're putting on 1 or more of the Eon anti-inflammatory patches. They're putting on the carnosine if it's a brain issue, or if they're older, as I am, you want to speed up brain repair. They're using any of the patches, and it has to be, as Marci said, 12 hours on, 12 hours off every day. So Ivory, I wonder what you would like to say to people who are listening about how this is something that you've been doing consistently too.
Yeah, I think that I've given the patches or given patches away to, and with the help of Marci, to a lot of people. And I will say, unfortunately, athletes, that have been hit in the head a lot of times, they forget what's going on in the evening from that day that they've just spent. Okay, let's just be real about this. Okay, most of my job is calling them up and saying, hey, bro, put the patch on, put it on tonight, take it off. All right, I'm going to come over to your house with a bat if you don't do this. All right, so you got to take care of this. I'm serious about this. It's funny, but it's not funny because obviously, reactivation is one thing, and then to have them build and rebuild is another thing. And you got to do 12 hours on, 12 hours off. That is my message that I preach to all of my guys so much, and it's so important because that's when it works. And the consistency of that, and I'm learning so much from you, Susan. I have to tell you, and Marci, I learned the applications of these patches, because there's a longer ride that I have. I'm excited today because I know there's a longer ride for me utilizing some of these other patches. Now, I don't need the skin softener stuff. I don't need all that. But what I'll take is that anti-inflammatory stuff absolutely every day, and to help me continue to build, well into my latter half. So that's basically what I would, and any of you that are out there that have people that you've turned on to this, it's just human nature, quite frankly. Okay. Oh, I forgot to take my patch off. How many times have you heard that? Just please remind them just to be take care of yourself every day. Put it on and then put it off.
Beautiful. And I actually have people put Post-its on their bathroom mirror that says
Yes.
which patches they're putting on in the morning
Yes.
and which patches they're putting on at night. And if they want to write on the actual sleeve, morning or AM or whatever, yeah, giving them the support they need. And then it's, according to the inventor who is such a genius, David Schmidt, we want to wear these patches 1 month for every 10 years we've been alive before we expect big miracles. And
Yes.
I've been using the patches now for 10 months, and I saw a difference. I saw an absolute difference. I saw a difference. I was lucky on the second day because I'd been using anti-inflammatories my whole life as an adult. Non-invasive, fantastic anti-inflammatories. That's the key to repairing the stem cells faster. That's why you use the Eon with the X39. Now, Marci, would you give us just a brief overview of your 331 system? And for everyone who's interested in telling as many people as possible, as quickly as possible, Marci and I did a show a few months ago, and it's on the YouTube channel, and it's about her 331 program.
Absolutely. So about a year and a half ago, when I realized that this stem cell activation patch was real, I realized that I needed to share it, and I wanted to build a business. And the great thing is you can. By sharing, you can also create financial safety for yourself and many others. And so the 331 is the system we use to share, and it's patch 3 a day, follow up with 3 a day, and invite one to our nightly Zooms, or like this is an event, right? When we patch 3 a day, we basically patch 3 a day by ask, share, and give. So we ask a question. What's going on with you? What do you know about stem cells? Did you know that you could activate your own stem cells for less than a cup of coffee a day? And then we share a link. We love to share startx39.com. Go take a look at it for yourself. See what you think. There's some great videos on light, on stem cells. David Schmidt, our owner, inventor, CEO, he talks about how X39 works and the issues it helps with, and tons of testimonials. And then we give a gift. And that's what Ivory was saying. I gifted Ivory 10 patches. Had he not had the gift, he most likely would not have tried it. And you heard him. He was kind of off and on until day 8, and then he went clear. It took 8 days for him. I don't know how long it's going to take for you. Sometimes it takes longer for you to notice something because the patch is going to heal what you need to have healed first. And it may not be what you think it is. It may be going to your liver first that you don't even feel. So you really do have to give the patch a good 30 to 90 day try. And that's why there is a 90-day money back guarantee on initial orders for preferred customers. The CEO says, hey, this is risk-free for you. So once again, we use the 331 ask, share, give. And one more time, we patch 3 a day. We follow up with 3 a day. We invite one to Zoom, or we now call them the patching podcast, because that's what it is. And we do that with asking a question, sharing a link, and giving a gift. Back to you, Susan.
So thrilling and so simple. You know, it's really, really simple because Marci created this wonderful website, startx39.com, and she has another one, startx39biz.com, for those of us who knew right away that we wanted to share this. And the company gives away 54 cents on every dollar. I have never seen a business opportunity like this in my life. And Ivory's a businessman. I'm a businesswoman. We've each been doing it for a long, long time. And when you buy the patches for yourself, as a distributor, you get the wholesale price and you actually have a business. That's all it takes. You buy your first order as a distributor and you have the right, because someone just asked me a couple of days ago, well, now that I bought this, what do I have to do to be able to be signed up to be able, you know, it was really very cute. And I said, no, that's already happened. You've already done it. And then the same gentleman who's been in sales for years, he sent me a text this morning. Well, you're talking about commissions. So now what do I have to do in order to earn commissions? I said, well, as soon as I speak to your friend, Dr. So-and-so, or the other one you're sending me right away to introduce to the products for you, soon as they sign up, you'll have a commission. He said, you mean right away? I said, yeah, all you have to do is you've got to do a little paperwork so the company forwards the money to you, and it's sitting there waiting until you do that little bit of paperwork. So this is a tremendous, tremendous, tremendous opportunity to change your own life, change the life of the people that are closest to you, the people that you love and care about. So Ivory, what about your swollen knee or any other part of you you'd like to share with all of us?
Hey, everything is on go right now. So I'm grateful for that. So look, if it's on go, that means, I'm getting up at 6 a.m. and getting to the gym again. I'm a little bit scared of it because I'm actually starting to see some muscles starting to come in again. Watch out. When that happens, it's all over. It's over for everybody. And you can tell that I have a problem with like my energy level. It's like a little low. I might have to burst it up a little bit. Look, I'm telling you, this is a gift that has been given to me. Marci, God bless you. And thank you so much for letting me have this opportunity and explaining it to me and taking the time to explain it to a slow brain guy, because I was at the time, but I'm not any longer. And I'll just tell you, what I can do for my friends is the motivator for me. And we have a lot of influencers in sports, and I happen to know a lot of them. And so I'm going to see, I don't know if any of you, Jim McMahon. I'm going to see Jim McMahon. He's had all kinds of issues with his health. And I'm going to see him at a golf tournament on the 23rd of May up in Sacramento. You tell me if that's not a guy that can use the X39. He needs them. And it's out of the need proposition that I am even sitting here talking and sharing and wanting to spread the news, man. So thank you so much. You're all beautiful people. Thank you for taking the time to listen to me. I'm grateful for that.
Well, we could not be more thrilled. I said to Ivory that after I spoke to him the first time, it was the first time in my entire life that I suddenly thought, well, football sounds kind of interesting now. So you've had that kind of...
Yeah, take a look at it now, Susan. Take a look at football now and, then go back a few years. The whole game has changed. We used to be straight up thugs, okay? I'm saying we used to put hits on people. It was bad. Now they play the game more like it probably should be played. Okay, let's just be real about it. But you had to be skilled and talented to be a hitman, okay? Let me just let you know that, all right? Okay, that's all I'll say.
And the truth is, who doesn't love an alpha male, right? Who's also a dog and also nice and also telling you from, his heart how this has brought him back to life. And I'm a good deal older than Ivory. I just had a birthday yesterday, and I have not been this sharp and this with it in a bunch of years before I found the patches in July. And it changed my life in terms of energy. And by the way, as I got older, energy was a big problem for me. And if you've got a lot of energy, you'll never be depressed. If your brain works and you have a lot of energy, that's it. That really is the big thing, as long as there's no pain. So I learned from, I don't know who, it may have been you, Marci. I learned that David Schmidt, the inventor, wears 2 sets of energy patches every day. So now I am doing the same thing. My friend Shirley started to use it. She's older than I am. She said, Susan, do it. It works. It works. So I use a set here in the normal place, and then I use another set on the bottom of my feet. And it is remarkable. So any of you who are watching, be sure that you go to the friend who told you about Lifewave, ask them all your questions, and go to youtube.com/Susan Allan 2001 so that you can watch this show. It will be up in about a week. If you want to be notified by YouTube, subscribe to the channel. And we've got like 15, 16 shows that Marci and I did with interesting guests. And of course, this show with Ivory is going to be your favorite, because how fortunate are we? So I send each of you lots and lots of gratitude for supporting the Lifewave business and learning about it, so you can tell all your friends about it and you can have the life that you always dreamed of and have it for a very, very long time. So thank you, Ivory. Thank you, Marci. And thank you, everyone. And remember, the second Thursday of the month, same time, same place. And we'd love to see you then. Thank you. Well,